All right, I think we should be live about now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brian. If you happen to be new around here, and today is the official launch day of Throne and Liberty on the PC. This is the free version. This is the essentially truest of launches, and it is here happening today. And we're going to be hanging out with you guys in the Discord. You just heard somebody jump in and join me. If you want to do that as well, check out the top link in the description, be a part of the Discord. It's absolutely free to do so, and we hope that you give it a chance and take a look at it. We've got, it should be going live right about now. I might have to do what I usually do when these kind of things happen, have to give Steam a good old restart for it to kind of pick up that the game is officially live, but we're going to be having a lot of fun. And if you guys are, controller players or more, you can check out the Ultimate Controller Guide, and I will look to see if I can add in any other guides and refresh any other of this stuff for you. We're going to be talking about player numbers. We're going to be talking about general reception. Obviously, whenever a free-to-play MMORPG comes out, there is a lot of contention as when it comes down to what is pay to win, how is this game monetized, and does it feel essentially overburdensome and greedy? Time will ultimately tell, and being that I opted in to play this for free, meaning I did not purchase the 5-day early access because like at the end of the day, that would be a practice that I would love to see go away, but we have seen just how many people actually take part of it, and that's a big part of the player numbers. It has been interesting to see how the game has so far been received. If anybody set their expectations to Lost Ark level, just note that that is essentially not going to be the case. I wasn't expecting Lost Ark level, but I was looking forward to that. Awesome. Great news as well. Throne of Liberty is now also available on GeForce Now. While I won't be playing it on GeForce Now, I had the expectation that it would be launching on GeForce Now, and now we know the announcement has gone out, and that makes me very happy. That means I will be able to put more time into this game. And yes, they're saying to restart Steam, and that will cause it to do the unpacking of the package. Thank you guys so much. Now I'm going to bring in our beautiful Discord. We got Hulk here. What's going on, Hulk? How you doing, sir? All right.
Hey, I'm good, man. You?
Dude, I'm doing really good, man. Doing really good.
I've been playing Throne and Liberty, so
how's it going? How's it treating you?
I'm liking it, man. I mean, I'm kind of struggling leveling up right now, but
are you doing it for free where you don't have like the I guess the accelerated, leveling whatever?
No, I paid the minimum of $40. Like I said before, man, like I was bored and I really wanted to play something new, so
yeah. Like I was like for free, I was like, yeah, like I mean, if I feel like I only want to play 2 hours of it and set it down, cool.
Yeah.
I did find that I enjoyed my time with the beta more than I was expecting. The visuals, the audio, I think that they've done like a decent job. But in terms of what I think people are really hungry for, I think we're going to see the same story that we see with every MMO release that's ever been, and will ever be, where you see hype and then that eventually kind of settles down. And we're also kind of seeing pushback on games as service games, especially this year alone, where I guess, or this year and starting actually in 2023, where there's generally people who've been voicing their frustrations with the business model itself. But the irony in that is that the numbers show, and the reason why these companies like, Sony invested so much into Concord was because 84% of all video game revenue is coming from these games as service games. The amount of time that people are spending in these games, and the vast majority of games that people are playing are well over 6 to 10 years old now. And so that's why I think we're seeing an industry kind of really struggling with all this. What's going on, Drather, aka I don't know if you want me to say your name, but it's in parentheses.
Drather, yeah. Hey, buddy.
How's it going, dude? How you been?
Not too bad. I think I'm gonna jump in, dip my toe in it.
Yeah, and this is definitely like that's my philosophy with any of these games. Dip your toe in, see if you like it, and if the game is asking you for money and you're uncomfortable with it, just say adios.
I'm not expecting too much from it there. Yeah. I think it's free, so I'll try it out, and I don't expect everybody to keep playing after about a month or so after the hype dies down.
Yeah, and would you classify that there's a lot of hype around the game? I'm curious to see how the numbers look now that it is free, because it's also on Xbox and PlayStation, so we don't have just one pure Steam metric for this game.
So my brothers are pretty casual, and they even are jumping in. So I think there's a little bit of hype.
That's the free side though. That like, because it's like you can be totally casual and you can be like, yeah, I used to enjoy MMOs. Let me step back into one of those for a while and then go, yeah, now I remember. Yeah.
I think there's hype and there's FOMO right now.
Oh, is that what sold the packs? Do you think was the FOMO?
Yes, like people are like, oh, this could be the next big MMO.
Yeah.
And if I want to go hard, like really hard, I'm gonna buy what I like to call, quote unquote, the big dick pack.
Get that energy going. The BDE.
Get all that FOMO stuff and start out the gate with like everything, you know. And I think that's where they're getting lots of those sales.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the game could end up petering off, like every other MMO that, you know, comes out the gate and promises everything and then kind of fails to deliver.
Well, we see MMOs struggle for years. Like, we see the general story of the MMO, the one that sticks around and the one that people play and are still playing to this day. Like, out the gate, there is a lot of different struggles, and that's only become increasingly larger because the expectations we have grown exponentially, but the technology and the costs and the economics behind it all haven't kept up with that pace. And so because of those various different factors, you see people who are just like, all it needs to do is be a great game. But then you go listen to Yoshi P talk about Final Fantasy, like, what does it take to make an MMO these days? And to have all the features out the gate, the costs were already the largest expense that we've seen in game, game making. I mean, I don't know if Concord has has put that to shame, but we've seen that overall increasing of costs, and thus I feel like that's why you don't really see these games happening this often. And it's interesting to see that people are obviously still willing to make that investment. I am curious about this game because they didn't go with the Lineage branding, even though this is built off of Lineage and Lineage 2. And I don't know if that was namely because of the different change of pace where it is sandbox and theme park in terms of it as like what I think is a true sandpark style MMO, or if this is going to be something where it's like, yeah, we're just trying to create something a little bit independent so we don't end up pissing off the Lineage players by slapping Lineage 3 on it, even though this game did originally start development as Lineage 3 back in the day. Now I got a couple of people say hey to. What's up, Stag, over on Twitch? Thanks so much for stopping in. And what's going on, FML? How are you doing? What's going on, Vincent? We got Pashri, Ty, how y'all doing? Lord Drifter, Dubs, D83, man. Hey, I always love seeing you in the comments, dude. Appreciate you. We already got Drather here. He's both in the comments and also here in voice chat with me. And if I missed your name, I do apologize. We'll say, oh, there's one I missed. Baz Augie. Welcome in, guys. Hopefully y'all are doing well. For some reason, I don't know if y'all see Baz's icon. I don't see an icon. It just completely missed it. So that's what it is. All right, my game says that it's ready to play. Let's see if the servers are slammed. And I think I don't know if I'll need to set up this game in terms of the windows, but we'll figure it out. Well, we're gonna step into it here. Boom, boom.
Yeah, there was a queue of like 800 when the game first came out, I heard. So
800, that's nothing, dude. If anybody was here for the New World, it was like, I'm at a 2300 queue because they had like,
oh wow,
oh dude, like it's gonna, like, the New World stuff is so exciting for me because like all of these issues have in my mind been addressed. I think they could be addressed a little bit easier. I think ultimately if we had kind of more of a mega server approach where the game just kind of handled what server you're playing on, that would play, I think, a little bit better in my opinion in the long run. But we're not there. But they've overall massively increased the amount of people who can play on the servers, and that I think is going to continue to increase as time goes on. That being said, is that if you get into a queue, you can in queue transfer to another server now. So like, oh, you want to get on your character and transfer your character to another server? Oh, by the way, when the game launched, there weren't server transfers. Those came in later. But now it is so much more streamlined that I think it's a real win for players in the long run.
Yeah, I like the fact you can switch your server. It's really nice.
Yeah. And just as a heads up, it launched in full screen mode, and it says my shader optimization is in process at 0%. I'm going to tab into make sure that I can continue to see the chat here, so I don't ignore you. So note that that is loading up behind the scenes. I'm wondering if it's giving me any issues. It says that, you know, I dropped some frames, but hopefully that is. That's not bad.
So are you on the East Coast or what?
Yeah. Generally, like when I mean, I'm in Central time zone as a human being, but essentially when it comes down to it, like the East is much closer. Coast data centers are much closer than the West Coast, so that's where we kind of play.
Okay.
What's going on, Nuo?
I mean, whatever server you pick, man,
Yeah,
they give you like free hops or something every once in a while, I think. So
I hope so.
So I can probably hop to you if you want.
I generally, or I mean, if your server isn't filled up, I have no problem jumping on that.
Yeah,
they were small servers, Ty. They were small servers at 2000, which is kind of more reminiscent of classic MMOs because they originally were around that same server population. But they're up to, as a part of the beta, as just a default, like 4,000, and I believe they were testing out 5 or more thousand during the beta as well. So I'm wondering to see if and how that scales. No, this is New World.
Oh,
so
New World.
Yeah,
okay.
And well, I guess somebody was mentioning they were worried about, like, because they only see a handful of servers right now for the current PC version. And I was like, you're gonna see like Amazon's already tested where they spun up like 750 servers in an instant. You know,
yeah, I'm sure there'll be more later in the future. I'm guessing. So.
Yeah. See, Dub says that back in the day, I remember the WoW expansions were in the thousands for the login queue. It's like, yeah, man. Like, yeah, I wasn't into the WoW scene, but I remember, you know, people kind of talking about that, which is crazy.
Yeah, I never got into WoW either, but I wish I would have. But oh well.
I've been playing the War Within, and
how is that?
I'm kind of burned out on it already. I generally PvP, but it's really sweaty right now. Even in the 1800 bracket, you're fighting like gladiators and rank 1s, and it's like, man, it's really sweaty.
PvP is an important aspect, but I think it still also represents like that small diehard community. So like with Throne and Liberty, if they can really get if they can really kind of satisfy the PvPers out there, like, and with their kind of the guild and the end game, and, you know, fighting over, I guess, open world bosses and things like that, I think that could be something that can definitely continue to give this game life. Like the numbers of hype and whatever happens whatever numbers they reach over the next couple of weeks and months obviously aren't going to be representative of the core community, but if they've got a strong enough community that supports the game, I'm just not looking forward to the narratives, you know, that we end up seeing pushed on socials about like, this game's dead, this game's dying. It's like, okay, bro, like maybe, but like maybe we know it takes 3 years. Like if you go and you just like look at a base study, every game as a service, every MMO, it took 3 years for them to really figure this stuff out. Lost Ark, incredible numbers. The nice thing about Lost Ark was it got to experience its 3 years of trial in Korea, and only in Korea, so that when it came finally to the West, you not only had players that were interested in it, because I went and played the Korean version back in the day, and it was kind of rough, and then eventually kind of, you know, I was like, it's getting better for sure. And then eventually when it came here, it felt like it had so much content. Well, because it had 3 years. It had 3 years of stuff that they've been working on. And so it ends up being something where I'm like, it's difficult to compare, but no matter what, humans will work and make these kind of comparisons to the game. Stag says, I hope that AGS can take advantage of Amazon's own servers, and they will. That's a part of the deal. And it was so, I don't remember if you guys remember, like it was like a year or two ago, during, you know, one of the Twitch, you know, drama, you know, things that just kind of, you know, popped out. It's still saying it, I'm at 0%, by the way. But like Twitch was like, you know, because we have to pay for AGS servers, and I don't doubt that to a degree, but it's still the same company. And so like, I'm sure, and they quoted the normal rate, and I was like, even if they are paying for the servers, I would assume that Amazon internally is giving them some kind of discount and writing that off on their taxes, because we know that they do that hands down. Like the amount of stuff that they write off on taxes for tax deductions is unreal, and they do that internally for those servers. So it was just kind of funny because they were like, why trying to justify the 50-50 split with content creators, and it's like, oh, we can't afford it. And it turns out, yeah, Twitch isn't profitable. Like it's such this interesting thing. We just see like copious amounts of money and time being invested in it, and then you see Elon Musk buy Twitter, fire 90% of of the company, and then the app actually gets better. Like new features and all these little things start rolling out, and you're like, huh, what was going on, guys? Like, are we running like as lean of a shop as we could? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think Twitch still has the best viewing experience and the best streamer tools, and it really frustrates me on the YouTube side because there's just so many things that like it feels like you wait and you wait and you wait, and then like they give you kind of a half measure, and then you wait and you wait and you wait, and they improve upon that half measure a little bit, and you're like, all right, like there's a literal roadmap. In fact, like Kick copied what Twitch, like I think Kick is actually running on the same servers as Twitch, and just paying out the wazoo because they see the power of advertising. We just haven't seen these platforms be able to capture them. I'm gonna see if I can't quit out of the app because it's still saying shader optimization in process. It does let me click it, but it doesn't let it. Maybe the servers are struggling.
It should have started right away for you. Mine, when you said yours was just starting, mine was at like 49%, but I had logged in just slightly before you.
All right, it is not playing nice.
I'm in the game, but
it may have froze.
Yeah, it probably did. Let me try to launch that again. Let me just make sure I don't need to close out on anything. No. Okay.
Is it for like new players that are having a hard time getting on? 'Cause, I mean, I'm on no problem. So
it's just a literal black screen, and it wouldn't let I can't set it to because it's trying to do the ultra wide, and I can't set what monitor it's going to load it on right now until I can get the game to load and go into the settings. So hopefully this wasn't a complete waste of y'all's time. We'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah, what's up?
Good luck with your weight loss.
Thanks,
or
man.
Not good luck, but good job with your weight loss.
Dude,
I mean,
it
sounds like you've lost a tremendous amount of weight.
So for those that are watching the stream, I'm like standing up. Like my waist has gone from a 54 to a 40 inches, and I think I'm going to get down into